everybody.
My name is Boxy.
No, it's not. Your name is Koga. Right, let me just see. No, alright.
My name is Koga.
Oh, and
Most of you know me as Koga.
Alright, so, welcome back to another episode of Weekly Gaming News with Wall and Koga. And we're starting off, as usual, with a recap of this week. The recap this week is going to be more of that we started up Baldur's Gate for a couple of hours this Friday, and soon after decided that it's better that I do it as a single player game.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's a rather slow game if you're two persons. It's kind of hard to coordinate everything, so it's something I will be playing through later on. Otherwise, I've played through more of Randall's Monday. I'm up to 11 hours of gameplay on that, and I'm still not done.
Well, you know.
Yeah. That just means I choose a rather good game, actually, because it's rather long.
That's what she said.
But other than that, nothing much has been going on. So I say we switch over to this week's news in the gaming world. And to be perfectly honest, there hasn't been that much going on due to Black Friday being the most important thing of all this week.
Sir.
Yeah, it has taken all of it with storm. So instead, the articles has been revolving about a couple of lists of different sorts, which we'll be going through instead. But one news article that actually stood out was this: Assassin's Creed Unity Season Pass is now cancelled. Ubisoft is instead giving free game and DLC to people that bought it. So everyone that's bought the Season Pass will instead be given a free Ubisoft game and DLC for Assassin's Creed Unity.
Ooh.
So obviously they didn't even think that the game is going to be good enough for having the Season Pass enabled. Or something like that. But alright, those who bought it will be able to choose from The Crew, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Rayman Legends, or Just Dance 2015. Hello, real monkeys, how are you doing today? Otherwise, they will also get the Dead King DLC for Assassin's Creed Unity.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good trade-off actually. All right, so as I said, not much news articles, so we'll be going through news articles instead, which is mostly top lists of different things. So, 15 popular games that might never see a sequel. Let's see if we can recognize some. The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That's very true. It's a really great game, and yeah, there hasn't been a reason to actually define a sequel yet. So, but if it is, it will probably be out 2016. Do you have an Xbox One? No, I do not.
Gaming consoles.
The next one is Minecraft, and that's very true. Minecraft is so updated and modded that it might actually never be up for a sequel.
Why would it need a sequel?
Very true.
Minecraft 2 is like, what?
What are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good thing. Minecraft doesn't need a sequel. It's getting constantly updated as it is now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having WoW and making WoW 2.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we can update the graphics and we can put up a different coding. Instead of having Java, we can do it in C++. That would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we don't need a sequel for. We can just, okay, let's patch it up.
Exactly. Hello, Drycry. Hello, Level Up Josh. How are you doing? Alright, next up is Dishonored. And yeah, that was a really great game. And there hasn't been any talk about the sequel for it, so that's very true. But I would like to see a sequel of that actually.
And that has potential for having a sequel.
Yeah, definitely. The Dishonored game was really, really great. Okay, next up is Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. I have never played this.
Neither have I.
But it seems to be some kind of flying game. Okay, after that is Jade Empire. And Jade Empire I have actually played, and that was a really great game. As long as my young doesn't pull up another Minecraft 2.1, but it was funny. Oh yeah, right. The April Fool's joke. But yeah, Jade Empire was a really good game. So I would like to see a sequel of it, but it has been out for a rather long while and no sequel has ever been talked about, so I have no hopes for that. Next, number 10, Star Wars Republic Commando. Let's actually turn up some music in the background for this. There we go. Alright, Star Wars Republic Commando. That's also a really good game. I haven't played through it. Have you played through that one?
Nope.
No.
Say that I have.
I played a bit of it and it was really good. But I can't say how it ends, so I do not know the potential for a sequel. Star Wars X-Wing TIE Fighter, I have never played. It seems rather old as well. Yeah, 1994.
A wee bit!
Has been re-released a few times, but that's it. But this is one I would actually like to see one sequel of. The Legend of the Dragoon.
Yeah.
For PSX game. Old JRPG from 1999. I would really like to see a sequel of that, but oh well. It has been out for 15 years now and still no sequel, so I have no hopes for that either.
If it happens, it happens.
Exactly. Okay, Diddy Kong Racing. Well...
How can you do a sequel to that? We can have more drivers.
And it's kind of like Mario Kart, but only with Donkey Kong. And I think actually, thinking of it like that, it's more like Diddy Kong Racing would be integrated in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So there really isn't any need. Alright, next up is Bully. I have heard a lot of this game, but I've never played it myself.
The Bully!
But as far as I heard, it has good potential for having a sequel, but... well, never seen anything of it, so... until I play the game, I won't comment. This, though, is a game that I would like to see a sequel of. Psychonauts. Oh, did you know I'm an artist? No, I did not.
Well, then we can use her. You can...
yeah. Give me a second. If you want to link, I need to permit. There you go. Permitted. Alright, Psychonauts has a rabid fan base, but a small one, so a sequel is something of a tall order. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you made a... alright, I put up that here so people can actually see a bit of it. Seems like Drycry has done some art for different kind of melee weapons and other stuff for Terraria.
Nice.
Crystal's goggles, Crystal's breastplate. They're really nice actually. I'm impressed. Alright. Yeah, that's really nice. Alright, yeah, Psychonauts I would like to see a sequel of. That's a really good game. Pokemon Snap.
That's really what we need.
Yeah, we need a new game where we can ride around in a cart and taking pictures of Pokemon having sex.
We can do that at home, sir.
Yeah. Alright, next up is Space Station Silicon Valley for the N64. Never seen any of it, so won't comment.
What?
Shadow of the Colossus, Ico. That I have played, and that's a really great game actually. I would like to see a sequel of that.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Heavy Rain. I haven't played Heavy Rain, so...
Neither have I, actually.
Those that have played it says it's a really great game. And it's probably one of those games that I am going to play through as soon as I get my my streaming box up for connecting all the consoles.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those games that everyone has told me, like, you need to play this! So, right. Okay. Next up is 8 great games made by Ubisoft to prove that they aren't all that bad. Alright, so first up is 1995's classic platformer Rayman. But that's a great game. Rayman was really awesome, especially when it was released. Alright, next up is 2002, the release of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Yeah, that was also a really great game. Okay. Oh, this is an awesome game. 2003's Ubisoft games Beyond Good and Evil.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's really one of the greatest games. I need to play that again. Oh well. Next up is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Continuing on is From Dust. From Dust was also a really good game, actually. I have played better God simulators than that, but it was really good. Alright, number 6. Far Cry 3.
Far Cry.
Yeah, definitely also a good game.
Yeah.
Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. And last in the 8 is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And all those prior to that. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The last one has been a bit of a yoke due to all the problems, but I can see the potential in it if they just get to patching it early. So in about 2 months, 3 months, it should be playable and good. Oh, you mentioned me. What? Most of them were games that were plus 10 years old. Yeah. Still good games.
So, your point being? Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
Look at me on Wall.
Alright. 8 video game Easter eggs that were hidden for years. Batman Arkham City's hidden link to Arkham Knight. It was a year after release when the secret blueprint room in Batman Arkham Asylum was revealed, but it took 3 times that for people to find something in the sequel Arkham City. The search was kicked off thanks to a mysterious YouTube account, which is pretty much guaranteed to be one of the developer or marker. Far Cry 3, alright. The search was kicked off thanks to a mysterious YouTube account who is pretty much guaranteed to be one of the developer or marketers. The sole video hinted at unheard lines for Calendar Man, the incarcerated villain who usually only has something special to say on special dates, like Christmas or Thanksgiving or Flag Day. But it had a secret message for those who came during visiting hours on a very specific, seemingly random date. By setting your clock, computer console clock to December 13, 2004, as in when Blade Trinity was still in theaters, 7 years before Arkham City was even released. You can hit up Calendarman and hear him say the following. Well, 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 and on today of all days, do you remember my early work? Flawed, but it showed promise, just like you. As your skills improved, I perfected mine. Starting with seasons and moving through the weeks, I became stronger and my work more elaborate. Days were secret, Batman, and the end of days is coming. I was there at your beginning, and I will be there at your end.
Ooh.
So what does it mean? You could probably say with confidence that the mirrors the trajectory of developer Rocksteady as they developed the Arkham games, especially since December 13, 2004 is likely the day that Rocksteady was founded. The early work that showed promise might indicate the original Arkham Asylum, or the first game, the shaky urban chaos riot response. But the last sentence is especially puzzling. I was there at your beginning and I will be there at your end. The upcoming Arkham Knight is supposed to be Rocksteady's last Batman game, so maybe that's the end they're talking about. Oh well. That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Hard to find. People are still finding the same secret jingle in tons of Nintendo games. It all started with Mario Paint after trying and failing for hours to recreate a sick beat from We Will Rock in the Music Maker. The player found that if they clicked the O in the Mario Paint title screen, a little song would play. You know about the magnet letters? No. As time went on, the players kept finding the same Mario Paint jingle in other games that came announced the Toccata sound, named after composing Katsuki Tokaka. The 19-note chime was later cited in Animal Crossing Your Stories, an X, a Game Boy game that actually predates Mario Paint. Oh well. My brother always spelled out boobies.
Boobies?
These
Where?
are 5.
Where?
On the magnet letters.
Where's the boobies?
Alright, Halo's Freeze secret message wasn't found for 7 years. When Norkley originally heard about this secret, we were pretty pumped. How could a game as widely played as Halo 3 have anything new in after millions of moms sex-having 14-year-olds had played it for 7 years straight? But even after the skulls and terminals, there was one last Easter egg that wasn't meant for you. By clicking on the right sticks during the loading screen on Christmas Day, like the Calendarman thing, you can change the console clock if you'd like to see it, you get a special message. Okay. I can't really read it, but if you can't make it out, it says, Happy birthday, Lauren. Not super exciting if your name isn't Lauren and you weren't born on December 25th, but if that lines up when then holy shit, you deserve a parade and free puppies.
Holy shit.
Alright, nude codes were hidden in a kid's game for decades.
Ooh.
The Apprentice isn't really remarkable in any way. It was just a simple platformer released in 1994, forgotten that Donald Trump show that you just remember still airs. It doesn't help that it came out on the shit factory known as CDI, which famously hosted a series of god-awful Zelda games. I've never heard of that. I have totally repressed that memory. For the longest time, the Apprentice was content to wallow in the croplands of his own obscurity, until someone found the boobs. Mouse over the blurry image if you're in position in life that you're willing to see those boobs. It doesn't matter.
I want to see those boobs.
Okay. Oh well. Unbeknownst to the typicals of the area, the Apprentice contained several new realities that allowed the boner-prone to enjoy a pixelated anime girl in various stances of undress. If you happen to have access to one of the history's worst video game consoles and a copy of the generic Wizard Boy in routine number 27, you can view this for yourself by entering special codes at the game over screen and then cry and cry and cry. There's one real-life Easter egg that no one has found. What?
What?
Who is Koga?
I'm an Easter egg.
You're an Easter egg. Right.
Come on.
4. Wave Race, the Blue Storm's asshole announcer. The announcer in Wave Race, Blue Storm, is all about encouragement. Without her shipper attitude regarding my jet ski racing skills, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I found it's helpful to keep an earpiece on at all times, just so I can hear her yell, sweet, yeah, or that's the way, at the different points in my day.
Yes.
For years my ego was safe when it came to our aquatic sports, but that all changed when the alternate announcer was nerfed years after Blue Storms released. Because you definitely watched that video and didn't immediately skip to the text, you'd know that the hidden announcer was a vindictive shitlord. This guy can't decide whether he wants to be passive-aggressive or outright hostile, sprouting everything from sarcastic "great" to straight up calling you pathetic every few seconds. Sounds like a lot of my stepdad, come to think of it. Wait, Keith! What?
What?
Okay, Final Fantasy IX's last quest was found in 2013. What?
Ah, yeah, that quest. It was, you got a ring?
Yeah, I think so. Like most of Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy IX was chock full of treasures, side quests and Moogles to kill, like Halo 3. You'd figure that such a popular game had been sufficiently combed over by the voracious community, but the very last quest wasn't revealed until 13 years following the game's release. The secret involves the Nero brothers, who otherwise help you pursue the gentleman's sport of gambling. Someone on GameFAQ discovered that talking to the Nero brothers after key points in the game advances their story and yields new dialogue. Thing is, it's entirely possible and extremely is to miss one of their beats and lose out on the quest altogether. But if you follow that thread to the end, you're rewarded for completing the most obscure and time-consuming side quest in the game with a piddly protect ring.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like climbing Mount Everest for the privilege of something spitting in your mouth. You could just watch it on YouTube and get the same sensation from reading comments. Oh, awesome. Oh well. It's something. I mean, it wasn't found for 13 years. That basically means they actually did something good. They managed to hide a quest for such a long time from the Final Fantasy community. That's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, finally you can play as Master Hand in Super Smash Bros. This is more of a glitch, but it's too rad to not include. For years the Master Hand was just an unlicensed below rip-off that served as the boss in Smash Bros. Series. It wasn't until 2008, the year of Brawl's release, that a method was discovered that let you play as Master Hand in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Here's where the Easter egg and the glitch part gets mixed up. You have to plug your controller into the third slot and hold down a certain buttons to pick Master Hand, but it's probably not intentional. The Smash Wiki link I linked calls it a glitch because it basically involves skipping the character select screen, after which your fighter defaults to Master Hand. Though Free Master Hand is perfectly playable, complete with a moveset, winning with him or her glove will crash the game because Master Hand has no win pose animation. Despite these drawbacks and the fact that it's a programming error, I stand by my previous assessment of calling this a radical Easter egg. And number 1. An emulator and 10 games are tucked away in GoldenEye for Nintendo 64. GoldenEye was already full of unlockables, but since 1997 the internet has exhumed a ton of other oddities within the game. Secrets like line mode, the unfinished Citadel level, and the playable Sean Connery have captured the imagination of permanent 11 years old everywhere. But the craziest GoldenEye discovery came in 2012, 15 years after your childhood friends were destroyed by Oddjob.
Oddjob!
A dedicated forum goer dug into the code within the game and found an emulator for the ZX Spectrum computer. For those not familiar with ZX Spectrum, was kind of like a British Commodore 64. For those too young to know what those words mean, imagine like a big bulky version of an iPhone 3G. Developer Rare made a ton of games for the Spectrum back in its day, and 10 of their titles were included on the GoldenEye cartridge along with the emulator. As the story goes, the developer Rare was probably tinkering around with the idea of emulation on the N64 and used their own catalog of ZX Spectrum titles as a test. Maybe they were testing out the emulation so they could use it for the playable Donkey Kong arcade cabinet in Donkey Kong 64, or maybe working on emulators that was the mid-90s version of avoiding work by puttering around on Reddit. Rather than yoink the stuff out of code of GoldenEye before they released it, Rare just disabled the Spectrum emulator and left it on the cartridge. If you want to play a piping hot title like Jetpack or Gunfight on Nintendo 64, You have to run GoldenEye and N64 emulator, then run a special patch, then run ZX Spectrum emulator. It's probably way simpler to just run a Spectrum emulator, but if there was any fun in that, you would have done it already.
So true.
Alright, but that's fine. That was actually quite good Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, top 5 best RPGs released in 2014 to buy during Black Friday and the rest of the holidays. Alright, number 5, Diablo 3 Ultimate Edition. Number 4, Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Number 3, South Park The Stick of Truth.
The stick!
The stick. Number 2, Dark Souls, definitely. And then number 1 goes to Dragon Age Inquisition. Alright, that's actually a rather good list. Especially the Ultimate Evil Edition for Diablo 3. If one doesn't have it, I definitely recommend getting one form of Diablo 3 or another, because it's a really great game.
Yeah. Holds up quite good.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of hours on just quest grinding on that, just because. Alright, next up, 10 promising games you didn't know were coming in 2015. Let's see, number 10, Hellraid. Alright, we need to actually shut down the music for this, because there are trailers in this, and I want to see it. Alright, Hellraid, considering it was originally going to be a mode for Death Island, you might not think there much to Hellraid after seeing it blend into Dead Island's combat and RPG elements in a gothic fantasy world. You might just change your mind though. Alright, let's put up this video here. I allow.
I allow.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcin Kruszkiewicz and I'm the producer of Hellraid, which is coming to PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One next year, with an early access on Steam version this fall. I'm here today to walk you through our press demo from E3 and show you what Hellraid is all about. With me are Mike,
Hi.
our in-house gamepad master, and Paul,
Right, let's
our
fast
parts
forward a
of
bit.
the ancient monastery, and the goal here is to find the monastery's abbot, who's gone mad after spending his life researching the...
It's really nice graphics.
The big part of Hellraid is to find the right equipment for the job, so we've prepared like hundreds
Healing
of thousands
potions.
of items. They are randomly generated in the game, but within the boundaries and some kind of rules that we've developed and implemented in our looting system. So please check every corner, every dark spot.
Come on, give us an enemy. Let's see us fight a bit.
Sword.
Give us an enemy, sir.
Alright, so what you just saw were the basic combat mechanics. So
The basic combat mechanics,
the
right?
weapons have fast light hit.
Basics.
Alright, but this looks actually rather nice. Definitely something to look forward to. Hellraid.
And now an example of the environmental kill.
Alright, definitely something to keep a small lookout up for. Alright, next, Abduction. A spiritual successor to games like Riven or Myst, which were also made by developer Cyan. In 20 years since the original Myst was first released, and a return of the dreamy puzzle adventure is somewhat that many older gamers will be interested in. Yes, very true.
So true.
Does it look anything...
Hey guys, how are ya? This is Eric Anderson. I'm the art director on the Abduction.
Alright, let's fast forward a bit.
Take a look and see the kind of level of detail that we are talking
Rather
about.
good graphics, at least.
Hopefully, detail and all that. So, real quick overview. This is a forest scene.
This is a forest scene, you don't say!
Starting area.
You don't say.
We do not have final gameplay or final assets in here, but this is mist and ribbon style games where you usually cannot interact with objects. In abduction, we're hoping for a much greater level of object manipulation.
Okay.
And so this is just to illustrate that cap here.
You can actually interact with the objects
Secret compartment.
and on parts of the objects.
Whistle inside.
That's actually rather nice.
Looks like we've got another clue.
Okay, I'm actually rather excited for this if it works out as they have stated here.
Just added the camera depth of field. Streaming through the grass there, but being blocked by the tree.
Alright, so abduction also seems rather nice. Pillars of Eternity. If you're a big fan of games like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, then there's a very good chance that you have been following the Pillars of Eternity project. I haven't.
I haven't.
Featuring the classic isometric user interface of real-time with pause and tactical gameplay of the Infinity Engine tiles, Pillars of Eternity seeks to be a return of the golden age of PC role-playing games. Okay. Yeah, with the typically same kind of graphics as well. So, nothing revolutionary about it. Oh well, it might be something to look forward to. Next up is Earthlock Festival of Magic. Hello, Boy Red Wing. Good looking indie RPGs based on new IP are getting rarer by the year. But Earthlock Festival of Magic has managed to turn more than a few heads since its announcement in 2013. Set on the fantasy world of Umbra, Earthlock looks to capture the light, cartoony feel of the console RPG's popularity in the 90s. Alright, let's boot up gameplay here. Oh yeah, it looks like the classic RPG. And definitely cartoonish style.
The cartoon.
Well, if it's released for the PC, I will definitely give it a try. Looks like one of those games that you could lose a couple of hours in. So yeah, definitely. So Earthlock, Festival of Magic. Next up is Killing Floor. I haven't played Killing Floor. Have you?
I've thought about it, but no.
Alright, so fans for the Killing Floor game will more likely be aware of the sequel's imminent release. For those less familiar with the online shooter though, Killing Floor originated as a mod for Unreal Tournament 2004 before receiving its own retail release in 2009. The game sees players work together in fighting waves of Orion specimens before battling a large boss during the final wave. It's addictive stuff and the game still has a large following thanks to top-notch developer support. The sequel will be utilizing Unreal Engine 3 this time around and features an advanced gore system, nastier enemies and a wider variety of levels. Sounds like a bit of like that God mode that we have.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see it. Specimen Identification Training Series Part 1. Study these specimens carefully, it may save your life. Okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Disgusting.
Hello, Mr. Disgusting.
Oh, put some clothes on, will you? Slasher. Okay. Oh, nasty.
That's nice.
crawlers. Why does crawlers always have to be so nasty? What the hell are
Because they
you?
want to. Because they want to.
A scream or something?
Arrgh.
I have no idea. Cyst. Okay. Oh, hello, sir.
How are you?
Flesh Pound! That sounds rather like a porn name.
Well, you know.
Alright, Killing Floor 2. Well, no gameplay yet, but the enemies looks rather nasty. Alright, next up is Factorio. I've seen a bit of this game lately because it's been out for early access, I believe. So let's see. You kind of like build up a massive factory of things. And you're trying to mass produce stuff, as far as I know. Yeah. In this particular one, they seem to be mass producing guns. Alright. And then you can have trains running from factory to factory, putting up, okay, produced stuff and everything like that, and continue producing new stuff, which actually gets into involvement, and it seems highly complicated.
Sounds correct.
But there seems to be some kind of monster population as well that doesn't like your factories because it's polluting their air.
Oh no!
But sadly enough, they weren't strong enough and were overrun by the trains. Okay. Well, it's not one of my opted games, but fine.
Fine.
Army Krog. Point and click adventures were one of the big casualties of switch from 2D to polygon games gaming. Developer like Telltale has been among the few studios to make efforts to bring this genre back, but it's unlikely it never be as big as it was before. It's always nice to see a new point and click adventure. That's exactly what Army Krog, a successor to 1996 Dream likes, the Neverhood, which I never played actually. Right, let's see the trailer for it.
Yeah, this does not look good.
I don't think our part insurance is gonna cover this.
Oh, it's the classic clay look on them.
What do you make of this guy?
Ooh, an omelet.
The fuck?
Give me a hand, give me a hand.
Army Krog.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's a point-and-click adventure based on the clay look from... was it the late 90s, early 2000s they started doing that? Some games.
So.
Yeah. Alright, next up is Chaos Reborn. To understand what Chaos Reborn is a game you should look forward to, you first get to look at the guy helming the project. Yulin Gallup, designer of games such as XCOM, UFO Defense, Magic and Mayhem, and Chaos Battle of the Wizards. To say he knows his strategy gaming is an understatement. Alright. So it's a strategy game then.
Ooh.
Always wish RPG game for people to play. You have amazing
Yeah,
as
it
a
is.
dark wizard standing. Heads across the map and
Well, definitely not my cup of tea.
Cup of tea, sirs.
Alright, number 2, Fortnite. This I've heard something of. Despite being developed by an industry behemoth's Epic Games, Fortnite has been curiously under the radar for most people. First announced way back in 2011, Fortnite will be a free-to-play title that centers around multiplayer scavenging and survival. Utilizing Epic's very own Unreal Engine 4, Fortnite features a day and night cycle that's totally instrict into the gameplay. During the day, players are encouraged to explore, scavenge and build. This is all in preparation for the night, during which monsters will reappear and attack the player-made constructs along with the players within them. It's not totally groundbreaking concept, but Fortnite looks the part with its bold cartoony aesthetics, and will be interesting to see how Unreal 4 engine handles a sandbox survival game.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, actually it is. There isn't enough scavenging survival games, and that's good.
Well, that sure is true.
Alright. Are you checking the trailer for it?
No, my cousin gave me a moral dilemma.
Okay. Is it one of those that you should send on me on Skype instead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you can basically build things as you go around as well. Stairs and stuff like that. And there are...
Great. Now build defenses around the power collector, because enemies will attack it when you activate it.
Okay. Actually, this game looks really good. This game looks really awesome, actually. I'm not kidding. The graphics might not be the best, but it looks really, really nice. It seems like there's so much stuff as well that it will take quite a while to learn everything. And as it seems, you will have to scavenge for ores, wood, you will also have to scavenge buildings for technologies and stuff like that. There's also stuff around that you have to activate and fix up to be able to get further into the game.
What was the name?
Fortnite.
It rings a little bell.
Yeah, I know I've heard of it before, but this is the first time I see any gameplay of it, and it looks actually really, really good. It seems to be the classical style of zombies attacking you during the night and stuff like that. But the way the graphics are, and the way that you actually do stuff in it seems to be rather good and rather non-complicated, while at the same time it's complicated in its own way. And there's really hordes of enemies.
I like it.
Yeah, so do I actually. Alright, this is definitely one game to look forward to during the next year.
Whee!
Yeah. And you have to protect the... What was it? It was a energy core.
Standard Dungeon Defenders game.
Yeah,
Protect the core, build stuff.
definitely, but it's combined with the scavenging and everything like that, which makes it a little more interesting. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. This looks like a good game. Alright, number 1, Hellblade. Ninja Fury is the studio behind such underappreciated games such like Heavenly Sword and Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Both of those games were disappointing commercially, so it's good to see that Ninja Fury is being brave enough to return to the cinematic action game once again. So it's a hack and slash game then. Alright, let's see it.
Hack and slash.
I don't have anything against hack and slash games actually. They usually can be really good. There's no gameplay in it? No.
Aww.
Alright, I keep my wits about it until I see any gameplay, but being Ninja Fury producing it, it can definitely be can definitely be a good game. On your moral dilemma, I choose number 1.
I wonder why.
Alright, next up is 2050 is going to be filled with 9 open world games.
Ooh.
Number 9, Quantum Break. This game is just wow, they were actually right, mind-blowing, and it's really impressive design just to create those effects. Happening is just amazing. Trippy engine to say at least. Stunning lightning effects, they reeled up the bullet time. If this game is anything like the excellent Time Shift, it will be a fun purchase. It's third-person view and open world gameplay, and it's for Xbox One it seems. So far. Mad Max.
Ooh, Mad Max.
Yeah. Going to be released for PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. But it's... well, what I've seen of Mad Max game before, it seems really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's see. Loading. Let's turn up the music again.
Got to turn up the music.
Alright, next up is Batman Arkham Knight. Going to be released for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. I still haven't played through the other Batman games, but everyone says they're really good.
Yeah, they are really good.
Yeah, I have 2 of them, I think, so. Alright, next up is Homefront The Revolution. Also PC, PS4, Xbox One. So it's an open first-person open world shooter. That could be something actually. I like open world shooters.
Yeah.
Dying Light for PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, it's an open world survival horror game. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
The release date is actually...
Survival horror goes Assassin's Creed style.
yeah, do you know when it's going to be released?
Do they have a release date yet?
Yes!
Finally?
Yeah, it says here at least.
Finally, sir.
It's going to be the 26th of January 2015.
Not long, not long.
Not long, I just hope I will have the money for it. Because that's one game I'm looking forward to. Swedish release date is going to be January the 13th. The 30th.
Yeah.
So, at the end of January 2015.
348 Swedish.
Oh, that I hope I would have actually could be able to afford them. Alright, next up is Just Cause 3.
Well, it's Just Cause. It should
Yeah.
be good.
Doesn't have a release date. Alright, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And, this is the kicker, it's going to be released for PC!
Oh yeah.
That's the kicker of it all.
I like one thing about that game that they have said about it.
Mm-hmm.
It has more quests than you can manage to finish.
Yeah, that's definitely a good
It's
thing.
gonna be freaking huge.
I haven't played that many Metal Gear Solid games since the first and second game, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing this because it's so different from the other Metal Gear Solid games overall.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. That has already been released. Wasn't it?
I believe so.
Uh,
At least, yeah.
Alright. And this list is actually from the other day.
Good going. GG.
Yeah. Okay, this is the kicker though. Number 1. Can you guess what it is?
No.
Open world shooter. Tom Clancy's The Division!
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. Alright, but that's actually a rather good list. There are a couple of games there I look forward to. Alright, now time for the last list, and it's a disappointment list. I'm doing this as the last one. 10 games that aren't coming to PC.
Okay.
Crackdown. Open world third person shooter for the 360. Depressing, yes. I have no idea what a Crackdown is, so I'm not going to be depressed about that. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Huh?
Yeah, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. That's the name of the game.
Name of the game. Name of the game.
I have no idea what it is. So let's go for the next one. Deep Down, our RPG game from Capcom. Only released on 2015 for PS4. Quantum Break, only released for the Xbone. Fable Legends, only released for Xbone. It is the 5th portion in the arrangement of the future games. A constrained shot multiplayer beta started on 16 October 2014. Is planned for a 2015 release. Ratchet and Clank Reboot, only released for the PlayStation 4, not surprising. The Order 8089, that's the new werewolf game that's coming out.
Ooh.
Only going to be released for PS4. The Last Guardian, going to release, doesn't say. Going to be released for Sony Entertainment, so PS4 then.
I sure hope Destiny doesn't join this list.
No, I don't know when. Bloodborne, going to release for PS4. Halo 5 going to release for Xbone. Well, there isn't any really surprises in the list.
No, not really. Not yet.
And number 1, Uncharted 4, only for PS4. So I'm. It was a bad disappointment list actually. I was hoping for more like, yeah, this game and this game that usually is released for more than one console or something like that. Instead they disappointed me with having those usual exclusive lists.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it for the news articles. So let's go for the next week's releases. This is going to be a short list. Because there isn't any really big releases. The most important ones to note is probably for Tuesday, 2nd December. The Crew Muscle Edition is going to be released for Xbone, PS4, PC and X360. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix is going to be released for PS3. Actually one thing I think of buying later on.
Maybe.
Both the 1.5 and 2.5 remixes. Terraria is going to be released for PS4 and Xbone. On Wednesday, a new Telltale series will begin, Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Chivalry Medieval Warfare will be released for Xbox 360. That has been out quite a while for PC, I believe. Tesla Grad, a 2D platformer. We play as a young lad suddenly finds himself embroiled in an ancient conflict. Released for PS3. So nothing surprising there. Persona Q Shadows of the Labyrinth, which was released last week as well, will be released this week for the 3DS on UK. Yoshi's New Island will be released in Japan for 3DS. Otherwise there wasn't anything really surprising there. Friday, December the 5th, Dungeon Defenders 2 will be released for PC in the United States.
Ooh.
Otherwise, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker will be released for Wii U. Famicom Remix will be released in the United States for the Wii U. And Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition will be released in Europe for PC, it says here, but it has already been, so that's completely illegit. Otherwise, there's nothing. It's a really bad release week. So, nothing new, nothing exciting really. I would say the only thing I could look forward to was the Kingdom Hearts HD remix.
Yeah.
But alright, so let's go from next week's game releases to the Nostalgia review. And for this we need... Yeah, we need to put up some music, so... Let's take this. Let's pause this one. Alright, this would be a good... And we need to put up the... There. Alright, so for this week we're going to talk about an old classic, which is Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, released for the Nintendo 64 in 1998.
Listen!
Hey, listen! That's probably the most known fact about the whole game.
Yeah.
No, it was released 1998, same year as Final Fantasy VII, I believe.
Final Fantasy 7 was out 97.
97, that was it.
Yeah, 97.
Alright. But otherwise, it has been re-released a couple of times. GameCube 2003 with what's called the Master Quest Edition.
Yeah.
And also on Nintendo 3DS 2011 and Nintendo Virtual Console 2007. It was the first 3D Zelda game to be ever made. So it was quite revolutionary when it was released. So that's about it. The storyline is as usual. You play as Link. And this is also the first game where you could play as old or young Link with a separation of the two.
Yeah.
And also the beginning of the time split line. So that was also a rather breakthrough. For those who haven't seen the timeline, I recommend that you check it up on Google, because it's quite intricate and quite a lot to go through. I will definitely cover that someday in a video, but not today.
Zelda's timeline.
Yeah, that's a long one. But yeah, it was the beginning of that. But the storyline is as usual. Ganon breaks to take over the world, and Link's out to save the world. But this was the first game to start a tradition of including an item of high importance in the game title. Like here we have Ocarina of Time, then you have the Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and everything like that. So that was actually the beginning of that as well. But it was the best-selling game of the year 1998. Sold even better than Metal Gear Solid and Half-Life. It's to this day is one of the best-selling games of all time. Not the best-selling, but one of them. And it is still one of the highest scoring games of all time, usually scoring between 9 to 10 out of 10. I think most of them were 9.8 or 10 in itself when I checked through the scores. But yeah, it's definitely a timeless classic. The gameplay you see behind me is actually from my Let's Play of it a couple of years back. And that took quite a while as well. I don't remember how many hours it is, but I think it's about one of the longest we have.
A wee bit.
A wee bit. But it's definitely a great game. I definitely recommend, if you haven't played it, to play through it either on a 3DS or a Nintendo 64 emulator. Or if you actually have a friend that owns the game itself on Nintendo 64, definitely play it on that.
Koga has it.
Koga has. Do you have the game itself, the Ocarina of Time as well?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. But yeah, definitely recommend to play it like that, because it gives the best experience, even though the controller is hold as strange as fuck.
Yeah.
But alright, I don't have much more to say about the game itself, do you?
Oh, it's a classic.
It's a classic. It's definitely a classic.
And the music is awesome.
Yeah, the music is epic in itself. Wall, what is a SAO? It's a Sword Art Online. But hello, SAO, how are you doing? I need to check up on that once again as well. Alright, that's it for the Nostalgia review. So we go over to our top 10 list. And once again, I put up some old gameplay from me. But today's top 10 list is going to be... need some music in behind as well. Let's see, let's take something classic. There we go. Alright, top 10 list this week is our top 10 JRPGs of all time. Should I start with my list?
Yeah, you can start.
Alright, my list is comprised of different kinds of games. We did include multiple parts of a franchise instead of the franchise itself. So my list begins with Suikoden 2, which I still think is a classic to this day. One of the best JRPGs I ever played. That's not what is seen in the background, that's Suikoden 1, by the way. Also from a Let's Play video from the YouTube. Heyo Pizza, how are you doing? Next up is Final Fantasy VI, which we have done a review from in the earlier episode as well.
Yeah.
Alright, have a good time, sir. Next up is Final Fantasy IX, which I also just made a Let's Play through, though in Swedish, I believe.
Yeah, you made it in Swedish when I made 8.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to do a replay of that on stream in English instead. That will happen in the future. But Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite Final Fantasies of all time, mostly because of the steampunk of it. So definitely...
Oh, you're in love with Zidane and his freaking tail.
No, I'm more in love with Garnet actually. It's actually one of my favorite female characters from the Final Fantasy series. Okay, next up is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is definitely a classic. One of the earliest RPG games I ever played. Played it, I think, slightly after I started playing Suikoden on a SNES emulator. Next up is Final Fantasy VII, definitely a classic. One of the most favorite games of all time as well. One of the games I can actually replay how many times I want to, but never get tired of it. After that I have Suikoden 1, which is the game you see on the screen behind me. And that's also one of my favorite games of all times that I can play through as many times as I want. Still awesome, still epic, even after all these years. Next up is Pokemon, like really good RPG game franchise. Not chosen a specific game because I think every game is good in itself. Hard to pick out one series that's better than the next because they're all rather unique and really good in themselves. Up next is Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch for PS3. Was a really epic game. It was so good that I had to kidnap Koga's PS3 just to be able to buy it and play it. And it was epic, and I will definitely play that through on stream as soon as I get that hooked up. Next up is just bored, that's all. Aw, why are you bored? Next up is Suikoden 5, that's for PS2, also one of the better Suikoden games. I'm leaving out Suikoden 3 and 4 out of this because Suikoden 3 is basically too much intricate character development for it to be a good RPG game. And Suikoden 4 because it's kind of like playing Wind Waker. It's a good game, but it's too much boating. And last is Chrono Cross, and not many people have actually heard about the game, which still surprised me to this day. But it's a rather really good game based on the same principles of Chrono Trigger with dimension and time travel, and one of the games I really love. But that's my top 10 list: Suikoden 2, Final Fantasy 6 and 9, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 7, Suikoden 1, Pokemon, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, Suikoden 5 and Chrono Cross. And now I leave it over to Koga's top 10 list.
Ooh, my top 10 list. I'm just gonna hide. As usual, I'm playing.
Yes.
Let's see, my top 10 list. Okay, the first 6 is Final Fantasy games, because I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy, just deal with it.
Yes.
So we have first place, Final Fantasy 7. It's my favorite game of all time. If I had to play one game before I died, it has to be Final Fantasy 7.
Right.
Second place, Final Fantasy 6. One of the best SNES games ever made.
Yes.
Third place, Final Fantasy 8. Just because you can abuse it so much. You can be so overpowered.
Of course you can.
Me and Wall play it different.
Yes.
Wall's like, I'm high level, kill everything. And I'm like, I'm low level, I kill everything also. Fourth place, Final Fantasy 10. Just because.
Just because.
Just because. Great storyline. And, as always, good music, good combat. And Blitzball.
I never liked the Blitzball.
Because I play handball, I like Blitzball.
Yeah, I know.
Fifth place, Final Fantasy 12. Never really finished it when it came out. I just finished it like 2 years ago or something.
I finished it when it came out on PS2. It's a really epic game.
Yeah, it got some new playing style. The monsters were out in the open, so you didn't random fight. You could just run up to them if you want to fight, or just stay away if you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
So, and number 6, Final Fantasy 13. Started playing again now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't finish it. As for 12, I didn't finish it, so I have to finish it. Because 13.2 is coming out for PC soon. I have to play it.
Yes.
Yes. Number 7, Secret of Mana.
Yeah, it's a really great game.
Another good game for the SNES. We do play a lot of SNES games.
Yeah, we do.
Number 8, Chrono Trigger.
Another great SNES game.
A great SNES game. Number 9, Tales of Fantasia. Another SNES game.
Yeah.
And the first game I ever saw on the SNES that had, well, you couldn't say even rude word because this is, yeah, it has a fox in it.
Yeah.
Just saying. And number 10, Pokemon.
The series itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Pokemon is the same. You catch them all and you win.
Definitely. Now, I would say if I had to do the top 10 list with the series in it instead of the single games, I would probably put the Final Fantasy series in the first place. Because it has so many epic games in itself.
Yeah, it's still going strong actually.
Exactly, Suikoden is more or less for now abandoned by Konami. And has no future potential as of now, but they have been discussing reviving it, so I'm having hopes.
Yeah.
But
Someday.
But no, I would probably put Final Fantasy series first and then Suikoden series after that. But there are a lot of honorable mentions as well that you could do in a list of this. I mean, like Legend of the Dragoon, the Grandia series.
Wild Arms.
Yeah, there are a lot of great games. But I think most of the great RPG games are centralized on the PS1.
Yeah.
That was the high tail of the RPG genre. In the JRPG genre. But otherwise, PS2 and PS3 as Hytale is very good as well, especially with the Ni no Kuni and the new Final Fantasy games and every other game there. Alright, that's that. That's the top 10 list. So, let's go over to the future plans. Well,
Future plans!
dun dun dun. What do we have planned for next week? Nothing really. I'm still aiming to finish up Randall's Monday, and after that I'm going to delve into Hamlet, or the last game without MMORPG features. Because I was given that by Shadow, he asked me to play through that, so I will do that directly after I've finished up with Randall's Monday, because it's a rather short game. After I'm done with that, I'm actually probably going to start up another playthrough of Darksiders just to get another action game into the mix. To play something else for a little while, then point and click games.
Don't you pick anything else than Darksiders?
I don't know, I looked through my Steam library and I couldn't find anything that they just put out to me.
Ooh, they have to put out?
A little, yes. I need to be excited.
Ooh, you need to be affected by it.
Yeah, but no, I couldn't find anything else that just stood out. I might find something else by the time. But well, let's see.
You don't have to have it on Steam, you know.
No, I know, but I couldn't figure out any other game I had that just looked out to me. But we can take a discussion of that a little later.
Let me put it like this. Do Infamous.
Yeah, but Infamous isn't that a PS3 exclusive?
Is it? Ah, it's PS3.
Yeah.
Ah.
Otherwise I would do it. I love Infamous.
I can. Don't I have Infamous cartridge?
I have Infamous on the PS3 you left for me.
Ah, you see, I had it.
I already played through with Infamous 1. It was an epic game. I really want to play through the second and the new ones as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But
we have to check up on that.
yeah, there are a lot of games that I will play through as soon as I get the new recording things.
No, play Devil May Cry.
DMC? Which one? 3?
The first one. Let's go old school.
The first one.
Dante.
Alright, I can look into that. Definitely. So, the first Devil May Cry, you say?
Yeah, it's an awesome game.
Alright. I know everyone says Devil May Cry 3
Yeah, I know.
is an epic one.
I played the 4th. I even Let's Play the number 4, so.
Yeah.
But number 3,
Alright, I will check it out. Definitely. Alright, well, that's it for tonight. We've gone through some articles and some other stuff. So we have put away a lot of things there. So I say thank you everybody for watching, and I wish you all a good night, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye bye.